Okay, good morning children. Second chapter continuation. What is the second chapter Nani? Mineral nutrition. Okay, second chapter continuation. What is the second chapter? Mineral nutrition. Mineral nutrition. Mineral nutrition. This is the second chapter continuation. Mineral nutrition. Mineral nutrition. Okay, second chapter continuation. So in this mineral nutrition, today we are going to discuss one of the new topic, that is role of micro and macronutrients. Role of macro and micronutrients. Macro and micronutrients. Role of macro and micronutrients. So yesterday class especially we discussed about the what are the macronutrients, especially carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, okay, calcium, magnesium, sulfur. So these are all the macro elements. So now we are going to discuss about the what is the role of different macronutrients. First, already carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, these are the framework elements. These are absorbed plants in the form of carbon dioxide and H2O. The remaining are absorbed from the soil. These are mineral nutrients. Now the first macronutrient, nitrogen. First one nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen. So nitrogen is the essential mineral nutrient which is required by plants in greatest amount. Plants require nitrogen in larger quantities. So plants absorb nitrogen especially in the form of NO3, NO2, nitrite and ammonium. So generally in these forms only plants will absorb nitrogen, especially nitrate, nitrite and ammonia. So in these forms only plants will absorb the nitrogen from the soil. So nitrogen is a component, nitrogen is required by all parts of the plant, especially meristematic tissues. Meristematic tissues require nitrogen. Especially meristematic tissues require nitrogen, and metabolically active cells. Metabolically active cells also. Metabolically active cells also require nitrogen. So especially nitrogen is one of the main component. Nitrogen is one of the major constituent in proteins. In proteins you can see nitrogen is there. Nitrogen is one of the main component of proteins, vitamins, enzymes, and hormones. So these are the, especially in these proteins, vitamins and enzymes, hormones, nitrogen is one of the main important component. So this is about the nitrogen. This is the one of the important macronutrient. Now second one, phosphorus. Now second one, phosphorus. Second one, phosphorus. Okay, second one, phosphorus. So especially plants observe phosphorus from the soil in the form of phosphate ions. Okay, plants observe phosphorus from the soil in the form of phosphate ions. So phosphorus is required by the plants absorb phosphorus in the form of phosphate ions and is required for all phosphorylation reactions. So phosphorus is one of the important components. Phosphorus is required by all phosphorylation reactions. So that is about the phosphorus. Next, third one, potassium. Okay, potassium. Okay, so potassium is absorbed by the plants from the soil in the form of potassium ions. Potassium is absorbed from the soil in the form of potassium ions. Potassium is absorbed by the plants from the soil in the form of potassium ions. And what is the importance of the potassium? It is very useful for opening and closing of stomata, activation of enzymes, and it maintains turgidity of the cell. So first one, plants absorb potassium in the form of K plus ions, potassium ions. This is one of the important component. So especially the potassium involves in several actions, especially activation of enzymes, activation of enzymes and opening and closing of stomata, opening and closing of stomata, and also it can maintain turgidity of the cell. It can maintain turgidity of the cell. So this is about the potassium. Okay, this is the third important macronutrient. This is about the potassium. Mainly plants absorb potassium in the form of K plus ions. It is very useful for activation of enzymes, opening and closing of stomata, and maintain the turgidity of the cell. Okay, this is about the potassium. Next, calcium. Okay, but what about the calcium? So plants absorb calcium from the soil in the form of calcium ions. Especially this calcium also very useful for activation of enzymes, and it is one of the important element in photolysis of water during photosynthesis. Photolysis of water during photosynthesis. It is very useful in photolysis of water during photosynthesis, and also it is very useful in activation of several enzymes. The important function of the calcium is photolysis of water during photosynthesis. So this is one of the important function of the calcium. Photolysis of water during photosynthesis and activation of several enzymes. Plants absorb calcium in the form of calcium ions. Okay, so this is about the calcium. Fourth macronutrient, calcium. Okay, next magnesium. Next one, magnesium. So plants absorb magnesium in the form of divalent magnesium ions. Plants absorb magnesium in the form of divalent magnesium ions. Okay, but what is the main function of the magnesium? So magnesium is one of the important component in the ring structure of chlorophyll. If you see the structure of chlorophyll, there should be a magnesium. So magnesium is one of the important component of ring structure of chlorophyll. ring structure of chlorophyll. This is about the magnesium. Next, sulfur. Magnesium after sulfur. Sulfur. Magnesium after sulfur. Sulfur. Okay, magnesium after sulfur. So plants absorb sulfur in the form of sulfate ions. Plants absorb sulfur in the form of sulfate ions. Plants absorb sulfur. Plants absorb sulfur in the form of sulfate ions. Okay, mainly the sulfur is present in two amino acids, especially the two amino acids that mainly contain the sulfur. Especially the two amino acids that mainly contain the sulfur. Now, what are the two amino acids that contain the sulfur? Especially you can see the two amino acids, especially cysteine and methionine. 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 These are the two amino acids. These two amino acids contain the sulfur. Sulfur mainly contained in two amino acids. One is cysteine and another one is methionine. Cysteine and methionine. These are the two amino acids which contain the sulfur. Next, so far we discussed about the macronutrients completed. First one is nitrogen, second one is phosphorus, third one potassium, fourth one calcium, fifth one magnesium, sixth one sulfur. Here remaining three, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. These three are framework elements. So 9 macro elements completed. We discussed so far 9 macro elements. Now coming to the what are the remaining 8 micronutrients? 8 micronutrients. So 8 micronutrients are there. Now we are going to discuss the micronutrients. Okay, micronutrients, which are 8 there. These 8 micronutrients. Okay, in that first one, iron. Okay, first one, iron. Plants absorb iron in the form of ferric ions. Plants absorb iron in the form of ferric ions. Plants absorb iron in the form of ferric ions. So this is one of the important component of protein. This is one of the important component of protein which are involving in transfer of electrons, which is one of the main important component of proteins. The proteins which are involved in transfer of electrons. But what are the electrons? Transfer of electrons like ferredoxin. Transfer of electrons like ferredoxin and cytokinin. Okay, so cytochromes. Transfer of electrons like ferredoxin and cytochromes. So iron, plants absorb iron in the form of ferric ions. This iron is one of the main component of proteins. This is one of the main component of proteins which are involved in the transfer of electrons like ferredoxin and cytochrome. These two are the electrons. So these two electrons are transferred with the help of a protein. In that protein, ferric ions are there. So these ferric ions are a component of the proteins. The proteins which can transfer the electrons like ferredoxin and cytochrome. So this is about the iron. So this is especially iron is required in larger amounts compared to other micronutrients. Iron is absorbed by the plants in larger amounts. Plants need iron in larger quantities. So this is one of the largest amount of the micronutrients compared to other micronutrients. So iron absorbed by the plants in larger quantities compared to other micronutrients. So this is about the iron. Next, manganese. And what about the manganese? Iron after manganese. Manganese. Okay. And what about the manganese? Okay. Plants observe manganese in the form of manganese ions. In the form of manganese ions. Plants observe manganese from the soil in the form of manganese ions. Manganese ions. Plants absorb manganese in the form of manganese ions. Especially, what is the main function of the manganese? So manganese mainly it activates many enzymes. Activation of enzymes which are involved in photosynthesis. The main function of the manganese is activation of enzymes. It can activate the enzymes. Activation of enzymes which are involved in photosynthesis. Activation of enzymes which are involved in photosynthesis, respiration, photosynthesis, activation of enzymes which are involved in photosynthesis, respiration and nitrogen metabolism. Nitrogen metabolism. Activation of enzymes which are involved in photosynthesis, respiration and nitrogen metabolism. Okay, photosynthesis, the activation of enzymes which are involved in photosynthesis, respiration and nitrogen metabolism. Okay, so this is about the manganese. So next, zinc. Okay, next one, what about the zinc? So plants absorb the zinc in the form of zinc ions. Plants absorb zinc in the form of zinc ions. But what is the main function of the zinc? Zinc is also needed for synthesis of axons. Zinc is very essential for synthesis of axons. Plants obtain zinc in the form of zinc ions. Zinc is needed for synthesis of axons. Next, zinc after copper. Zinc after what, Nani? Copper. So plants absorb copper in the form of cupric ions. Plants absorb copper in the form of cupric ions. Plants absorb copper in the form of cupric ions. But what is the main function of the copper? Copper is essential for all overall metabolic activities in plants. Copper is essential for overall metabolic activities in plants. Copper is important involved in overall metabolic activities in plants. Overall metabolic activities in plants. That is about the copper. Next, boron. But what about the boron? What is the function of the boron? Okay, boron. So plants absorb boron in the form of boric ions. Okay, plants absorb boron in the form of boric ions. So what is the main function of the boron? Plants absorb boron in the form of BO3 3 minus boric ions. So what is the main function of the main importance of the boron? So boron is very useful for pollen germination and cell elongation. Boron is necessary for pollen germination and cell elongation. 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 Okay. Next, molybdenum. Next one, molybdenum. Next one, molybdenum. Next one, molybdenum. So what about the molybdenum? Plants absorb molybdenum from the soil in the form of molybdate ions. In the form of molybdate ions. In the form of molybdate ions. Plants absorb molybdenum in the form of molybdate ions. Okay. So what is the main function of the molybdenum? It is a component of several enzymes. Molybdenum is one of the constituent. Molybdenum is one of the component of several enzymes, especially nitrogenase enzyme and nitrate reductase enzyme. Nitrogenase enzyme and nitrate reductase enzymes. These two enzymes are very useful. These two enzymes are participate in nitrogen metabolism. So, molybdenum is one of the main component of enzymes. Or what are the enzymes? Nitrogenase enzyme. Nitrogenase and nitroreductase. Nitrogenase and nitrogen reductase. Okay, nitrogenase and nitrate reductase. Nitrogenase and nitrate reductase. Nitrogenase and nitrate reductase. So in these two enzymes we can see molybdenum, nitrogenase and nitrate reductase. In these two enzymes you can see molybdenum. So molybdenum is one of the main component of enzymes. What are the enzymes? Nitrogenase and nitrate reductase. In these two enzymes you can see molybdenum. These two enzymes are involving in nitrogen metabolism. These two enzymes are involving in nitrogen metabolism. Nitrogen metabolism. These two enzymes are involving in nitrogen metabolism. So this is about the molybdenum. So this is about the molybdenum. And one more thing, more total 8 now. How many completed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 completed. Remaining 2 nani. Chlorine and nickel. Okay, but what about the chlorine? But what about the chlorine? Okay, chlorine. So chlorine is absorbed by the plants from the soil in the form of chloride ions. Chlorine is absorbed from the soil in the form of chloride ions. But what is the main function of the chlorine? What is the main function of the chlorine? So chlorine is along with sodium, along with potassium, it can determine the solute concentration. Along with sodium, along with potassium, it can determine the solute concentration and also anion concentration, cation concentration. These are all maintained with the help of the chlorine. So plants absorb chlorine in the form of chloride ions. So chlorine, which is very useful in along with sodium, along with potassium, it can determine the solute concentration and also it can determine the anion concentration and cation concentration. So this is about the chlorine. The last one, nickel. Okay, last one nickel. Okay, last one nickel. So this is the 17th. This is the recently recognized 17th element. This is the recently recognized 17th micronutrient, which was recently discovered. This is the recently discovered 17th essential micronutrient, especially this act as activation of several enzymes. It can activate several enzymes, especially urease enzyme. It can activate the urease enzyme. It can activate the urease enzyme, and also it is found to it is induce the disease resistance to some plants, and it is also develop disease resistance to plants. Activation of urease enzyme and develop disease resistance in some plants. This is the 17th recently recognized 17th essential element, which is nickel. So far we completed 9 macronutrients, 8 micronutrients. Okay, what are the 9 macronutrients we discussed? Carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, common framework elements. Remaining nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur. The remaining 8 micronutrients: iron, manganese, zinc, copper, boron, chlorine, molybdenum, and nickel. So these are the 8 micronutrients, 9 macronutrients. 9 plus 8 total 17. So these are the 17 essential elements. So far we discussed the role of macronutrients and micronutrients. Okay, role of macronutrients and micronutrients. So far we discussed. Next, continuation topic: deficiency symptoms of essential elements. Now, what are the deficiency symptoms of essential elements? What are the deficiency symptoms of essential elements? What are the deficiency symptoms of essential elements? Continuation: deficiency symptoms of essential elements. Deficiency symptoms of essential elements. Okay, deficiency symptoms of essential elements. Deficiency symptoms of essential elements, especially. But what is the deficiency symptoms, or what is called deficiency? Whenever the supply of essential elements become limited, whenever the supply of essential elements become limited, but what will happen finally? The plant growth is stopped. Retarded means stopped. Plant growth is retarded means stopped. Whenever the supply of essential elements are limited, the plant growth is retarded means stopped. So the concentration of essential elements below the concentration of essential elements is below which plant growth is retarded. So the term is called critical concentration. Whenever the supply of essential elements limited, the plant growth retarded means stopped. So the concentration of essential elements below which the plant growth was stopped, so that we can term as critical concentration. Critical concentration. The concentration of essential element is below which plant growth was stopped, so that we termed as critical concentration. Means the concentration of essential element is limited, so that's why the plant growth is stopped. So that type of the less amount of the concentration of the essential elements are called critical concentration. Okay. So then the element is said to be deficient when present below the critical concentration. When we can say deficiency, when when the element is said to be deficient, it can present below the critical concentration. Suppose if any element is present below the critical concentration, then the element is called what? Deficient. Deficient means it can present in low concentration, occurring in low concentration. What we call low concentration? Critical concentration. If element is present below the critical concentration, then that is called deficient. Then that is called deficient. Okay. But what are the deficiency symptoms? We can see generally in plants because of the essential elements. We can see different type of the diseases in plants. Especially you can see what are the diseases caused by the deficiency symptoms of essential elements. And what are the diseases caused by deficiency symptoms of essential elements? Especially you can see common diseases: chlorosis, common disease. Then necrosis, stunted plant growth, stunted plant growth, and premature fall of leaves and buds. Premature fall of leaves and buds, and inhibition of and last one, inhibition of cell division. Inhibition of cell division. So these are the deficiency diseases symptoms caused by the plants because of the deficiency of elements. For example, what is chlorosis? Chlorosis means because of these chlorophyll, the leaves that are converted into yellow color. Okay, chlorophyll, because of the absence of chlorophyll, because of the loss of chlorophyll. Already you know the chlorophyll pigment gives green color. Because of the absence of chlorophyll, the leaves are converted into yellow color. Loss of chlorophyll leads to yellowing. Loss of chlorophyll leads to yellowing. Lot of chlorophyll leads to yellowing. Loss of chlorophyll leads to yellowing. So green color leaves are converted into yellow color because of the absence of loss of chlorophyll. That is called chlorosis. But chlorosis generally we can see nitrogen, because of the deficiency of nitrogen. Because of the deficiency of nitrogen. Because of the deficiency of nitrogen, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, manganese, zinc. Iron, manganese and zinc. So because of the deficiency of these elements, generally we can see the symptom chlorosis. Because of the absence of nitrogen, potassium, magnesium, sulfur, iron, manganese and zinc, and also molybdenum. So because of the absence of these elements, we can see chlorosis. But what is necrosis? Necrosis means death of tissue, especially leaf tissue. Death of tissue, especially leaf tissue. But necrosis especially carry out calcium, magnesium, copper. Necrosis means death of tissue, especially. But what is the tissue? Especially leaf tissue. Death of leaf tissue. This is occurred due to deficiency of copper, magnesium, calcium and potassium. This is mainly the deficiency of copper, magnesium, calcium and potassium. But next one, what about the stunted plant growth and premature plant growth? Means premature fall of leaves and buds. So that leads to delay of flowering. The premature fall of leaves, that is carry out mainly nitrogen, sulfur and molybdenum. Nitrogen, sulfur and molybdenum. Nitrogen, sulfur and molybdenum. But inhibition of cell division. Inhibition means prevention, stops cell division. Inhibition of cell division is mainly carried out by nitrogen, potassium, sulfur, molybdenum. Nitrogen, potassium, sulfur, molybdenum. So this leads to inhibition of cell division. Cell division is not carried out. Inhibition of cell division, that is occurred due to nitrogen, potassium, sulfur, molybdenum. So these are the 5 deficiency symptoms generally we can see in plants: chlorosis, necrosis, stunted plant growth, premature fall of leaves, inhibition of cell division. So which are responsible for the deficiency of these elements. Okay. So this is about the macro and macronutrients deficiency of symptoms. So far we discussed about the role of macronutrients deficiency symptoms of essential elements. Okay, thank you children.